The day I realized I was never family. My name is Jake, and if I ever had doubts about where I stood in my family, those doubts died the day I accidentally discovered their will. Not through some emotional family meeting, not through an honest conversation. No, I found out by pure, stupid coincidence. It happened a few months ago at my parents' house. The same house I had been financially holding together for the past 5 years. Mortgage? Me. Groceries when money was tight? Me. Broken sink, leaking roof, electrical issues? Also me. I wasn't just helping, I was supporting their entire lifestyle. Meanwhile, my younger brother Eric? He did absolutely nothing. And when I say nothing, I mean nothing. No job, no responsibilities, no contribution, just lying around, scrolling on his phone, waiting for life to magically reward him. And somehow it did. The accident. That day, my dad had asked me to help scan some documents. Legal stuff, financial paperwork, the usual things they never bothered learning how to handle themselves. I didn't think twice until I noticed a folder in the pile. Estate planning, last will, and testament. I froze. I'm not proud of snooping. I've always respected boundaries. But curiosity crept in. After all, I was the one paying to keep that house standing. I opened it, and in seconds, my entire reality collapsed. Everything, the house, the savings, the assets, all of it was going to Eric. Every single thing. My name, not listed once. Not even a symbolic mention. Just a cold, generic sentence about loving both sons equally. I felt my stomach drop. Equally? That word felt like a slap. The realization. I sat there staring at those pages. Hands shaking. Heart pounding. I had sacrificed years of my life. Delayed my own plans. Drained my savings. And for what? To be erased. To be used. To be nothing more than a financial backup plan. How long had they planned this? Did they ever see me as a son? Or just as a solution? The confrontation. Jake, what's taking so long? My dad walked into the room. I didn't hide the papers. I held them up. So this is it, I said calmly. Everything goes to Eric. His face went pale for a split second. Then he sighed. Like I was the problem. Jake, it's not what you think. That did it. Oh really? I snapped. Because it looks pretty clear to me. I listed everything. The mortgage. The groceries. The repairs. Eric does nothing. And you still chose him. My dad avoided my eyes. It's complicated. Complicated. No apology. No explanation. Just expectation. Like I was supposed to quietly accept it. MOM makes it worse. I called my mom into the room. She took one look at the will and went silent. Then she said something that shattered whatever hope I had left. Jake, honey, you don't need an inheritance. I stared at her. You have a good job. You're independent, she continued. Eric struggles. We just want to make sure he's taken care of. That's when something inside me broke. They knew what they were doing. They weren't confused. They weren't mistaken. They were rewarding failure and punishing responsibility. I slowly placed the will back on the table. Got it, I said. And I walked out. The silence. I stopped going over. Stopped calling. Stopped fixing things. For the first time in years, I chose myself. 2 weeks passed. I think they assumed I'd come crawling back. Then reality hit. The first text. Property taxes are due. No greeting. No apology. Just a demand. I smiled and replied, Eric can handle it, since the house is his. 5 minutes later, Mom called. I ignored it. Then she texted, please don't be like this. We need to talk. My response was simple. You made your choice. Eric reveals himself. That night, Eric texted, why are you being such a drama queen? Just help them. Drama queen. I laughed. Why don't you help them? I replied. His answer? I don't have that kind of money. Of course he didn't. Because I always did. The ATM request. The next morning, my phone buzzed. A bank transfer request. $3,500. No message. No shame. I declined it instantly. Mom panicked. We're going to lose the house. I answered calmly. Maybe you should have thought about that before deciding I didn't matter. The ambush. Then it escalated. They showed up at my apartment. Uninvited. Demanding. Cornering me. I refused to let them in. When I finally confronted them face to face, I said what needed to be said. You don't get to use me anymore. Eric avoided eye contact. My parents played victims. But for the first time, I didn't break that I thought walking away would be the end of it. I honestly believed that once I stopped answering calls, stopped paying bills, and stopped fixing their problems, things would finally settle down. I was wrong. Cutting them off didn't end the drama. It ignited it. Because when manipulators lose control of you privately, they try to destroy you publicly. The first posts. It started quietly. A post from my mom. Nothing direct. Nothing with names. Just one of those innocent-looking messages that everyone knows isn't innocent at all. I didn't raise my children to be selfish. Family should always come first, no matter what. Within minutes, comments started rolling in. Oh, that's so sad. Kids these days have no values. You deserve better. I scrolled, my jaw tightening. She didn't mention me by name. But she didn't have to. Everyone knew. Dad joins in. Then my dad posted. And his was more aggressive. Some people forget where they come from. We gave everything to our children. And when we need help in our later years, we're abandoned. Disgusting. This time he tagged me. Publicly. No conversation. No apology. No shame. Just blame. And the Eric. I should have known Eric wouldn't stay quiet. He loved playing the victim when it benefited him. His post was the most infuriating of all. Some people think family is about money. It's not. It's about love, loyalty, and sacrifice. I'd do anything for my parents. I nearly dropped my phone. Anything. The last line they crossed. And how I finally walked free. I thought blocking them would end everything. I really did. I believed silence would finally force them to accept reality, that I was no longer available, no longer controllable, no longer their backup plan. But toxic people don't let go quietly. When guilt fails, they escalate. And what they did next proved something I should have realized years ago. They never loved me for who I was, only for what I could provide. The final attempt. 3 days after I blocked everyone, I got an email. Not from my parents, not from Eric, from a family lawyer. Subject line: urgent family matter, please respond. My heart sank. For a split second, fear crept in. Had someone gotten sick? Had something terrible happened? I opened it. And instantly, that fear turned into rage. The email was polite, professional, cold. It stated that my parents were experiencing financial hardship, and that as their son, I had a moral responsibility to assist them temporarily. Temporary. That word again. It also mentioned, very carefully, that if I refused, it could permanently damage family relations. I laughed, out loud. Permanent damage? That had already happened. Years ago, quietly, while I was paying their bills. The real intention. Then I read the attachment. A formal request. Not asking. Demanding. They wanted me to resume mortgage payments, cover back taxes, and help until Eric got settled. That was the moment it clicked. This was never about survival. It was about control. They weren't panicking because they were helpless. They were panicking because their system had failed, and I was done being part of it. My response. I replied with one sentence. Just one. Please direct all future financial matters to Eric, the sole beneficiary of your estate. And then I added, do not contact me again. I hit send. And for the first time, I felt absolutely nothing. No guilt, no fear, and no doubt. Just certainty. The last confrontation. I thought that would be the end. But toxic people always need the last word. 2 nights later, I got a knock on my door. Hard. Aggressive. I already knew who it was. Eric. Alone this time. No parents. No audience. Just him. Eric without the mask. The moment I opened the door, he exploded. You ruined everything. They're stressed out. They can't sleep. I crossed my arms. And that's my fault. How? He ran a hand through his hair. I didn't ask for the inheritance, man. I stared at him. No, I said calmly. But you accepted it. Silence. Then he snapped. You always think you're better than me. And there it was. The truth. Not money. Not the house. Not the will. Resentment. The last line they crossed. I don't think I'm better than you, I said. I think I grew up. That hit him harder than yelling ever could. You had every opportunity, I continued. They protected you from consequences. I protected them from reality. He clenched his fists. So what? You're just done with us. I nodded. Yes. One word. No drama. No anger. Just finality. You can hate me, I added. But you can't use me anymore. He stood there, stunned. Then quietly, he left. The aftermath. That was the last time I saw any of them. No calls. No messages. No surprise visits. The noise stopped. And in the silence, I found peace. What life looks like now. Months have passed. And life feels different. Lighter. I don't dread my phone ringing anymore. I don't feel anxious opening my bank app. I don't feel responsible for fixing grown adults' lives. I've started traveling, saving, planning my future without constantly worrying about who will need rescuing next. And the most surprising part? I don't miss them. I miss the idea of family, not the reality I lived in. The real lesson. Here's what I learned, and what I hope anyone watching this understands. Being this strong one in the family often means being the most exploited. Being responsible doesn't make you respected. It makes you useful. Until you stop. Then suddenly, you're selfish, ungrateful, cold. Let them talk. People who only love you when you give never loved you to begin with. To anyone watching this, if you're the one paying everyone's bills, if you're the one always fixing problems, if you're the one expected to sacrifice silently, ask yourself this. If you stop tomorrow, would they still care? Because real family doesn't punish independence. Real family doesn't reward laziness. And real love doesn't come with invoices. Final words. I didn't lose my family. I lost my role as their doormat. And that's a trade I'll make every time. I choose peace. I choose boundaries. I choose myself. L.